Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day here in Calgary, Alberta, and today we're going to be going over one of the most exciting topics on planet Earth, how to seed your lawn. Let's get started. All right, everybody, so first thing off the bat, you do not need to have a green thumb to properly seed your lawn. You just need to follow a few steps and a few rules, and before you know it, in about 3 to 4 weeks, the seed you put down on the soil is gonna sprout out into a beautiful, luscious lawn that's going to match your property. There's two major rules that we're gonna have to stand by today. Number one, and you need to remember this throughout the video, is that if the seed dries, it dies. The second rule is that if it's not embedded in soil, it's gonna spoil. Keep those two things in your mind, and now let's get right into it. So we have spent a ton of time researching the most powerful seed that works within Alberta. Now there's different climates around the world, and North America in particular, we are using cool season turf, which means we need to have a custom blend that works within Alberta here. We wouldn't be using this seed in Saskatchewan, we wouldn't be using it in BC. It has been made for Edmonton, Red Deer, and Calgary. It's a unique blend of Kentucky bluegrass, red fescue, as well as rye to make sure that your lawn grows. It is thick, but it is also resistant to the cold temperatures and cold snaps that we get throughout the season. This Yard Dawgs Premium Alberta mixture is gonna work fantastic, especially when put down with some soil. Now, putting it down with soil, it is optional. However, it is highly recommended. And when we were testing the different types of seeds we were using, we were also testing the best soils to use here in Alberta as well. And after doing a lot of A/B testing with the different brands of soils that we'd purchased from local hardware stores, we found that the very best soil for keeping the moisture within it, as well as keeping a strong environment for the grass to flourish, has been Voila brand. The Voila garden soil works phenomenal for having those micronutrients there. Make sure the seed has a home where it can develop, where it can grow stronger. And you can pick it up for about $3 to $4 at any of your local hardware stores. We're gonna put a link in the blog below of where you can find it at near Rona, Lowe's, or Home Depot near you. And let's get right into what we actually do have to do here for the lawn. All right, so there's not 3, not 4, but there's 5 tools that we need to properly seed your lawn. First and foremost, you need your bag of Yard Dawgs Premium Alberta Mix Seed. Second, you need a watering method, because if the seed dries, it dies. You gotta make sure that water stays moist. You don't necessarily, this is a recommendation but not needed, to get a bag of soil to spread with the lawn, but if you embed it properly within the soil, it's not necessarily needed. You need a good metal rake so that you can just loosen up the area, loosen up the soil, and getting any debris out of the way. And last but not least, you need your bare hands. These are the best tools to make sure that the seed is massaged into the soil and it's embedded very nicely. Let's jump right in. All right, so we live in Calgary, which means that we have to do a lot of shoveling in the winter. Here's a great example of when you're shoveling all the snow off your sidewalk. Sometimes some salt gets into your lawn and it can create a little bit of a salt burn and have more of a dry, bare patch here. So first thing we wanna do is just lightly with the rake up any of the loose debris, the loose thatch, the things that shouldn't be there. Get them out of the way so that we have a good environment for the soil. You wanna get the debris, thatch, little rocks here and there. Get it out of the way so that nothing's stopping your seed from growing into luscious, beautiful turf. So if you're gonna be using soil, take your bag of soil, rip it open here, and spread it evenly along the area that you're going to be seeding. Now we don't need a lot. We're going to be putting down about 1/2 centimeter just to make a good, strong home where we're gonna be seeding. We're gonna clean it up. Let's just brush it off the sidewalk, get it into the areas that we wanna be covering here. And now with our hands, we're just going to glaze this surface to really fill in the patchy areas that we want to address here. Just like you're putting Parmesan cheese on your spaghetti, you're gonna be spreading the seed in a sifting motion to evenly spread across the soil here. Be generous with it. If you need an extra bag from Yard Dawgs, give our office a call. Happy to provide that for you. We want to make sure that we are thoroughly covering the area that we really want to spot repair. So you can see here that there's seed just laying on top of the soil. But what was that second rule that I told you? If it's not embedded in the soil, it's going to spoil. So we need to get right down and dirty with our hands again and make sure that we really massage the seed so that it's within the dirt. We don't want to fully bury it. We don't want to choke it out. We just want to make sure that there's plenty of seed within the soil, there's some under, and there's some on top. And it should look like Parmesan cheese just melting on your big bowl of spaghetti. Once you have it embedded nicely, just do a light pat, just like you're patting a friend on the back, to make sure that there's good soil to seed contact. Now that we have our environment laid for the soil, there's two things that we need to do. We need to make sure that we are keeping everything moist and watered properly, because if the seed dries, it dies. So 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, we want to be doing a good sprinkle of the lawn with a sprinkler or handheld device. If you're using a handheld device, make sure that you are on the shower feature. You want to replicate rainfall as much as possible. The jet's gonna shoot it to Timbuktu, and the soaker is gonna create a huge mud puddle. We wanna make sure it replicates rain. So make sure your sprinkler is there, a nice graceful flow of water dripping down in drops, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. If it is starting to puddle with mud and water, that probably means it's done. We don't want to oversaturate and make a lake essentially within your lawn. We just want to make sure that it stays wet so the seed has all the water it needs to thrive. It's going to take a little bit of faith and hope. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks for you to start to see your blades of grass grow out through the soil. During this time, we need to make sure that we are avoiding the area at all costs. So that means keeping your pets off, keeping your children off. And when you're mowing the lawn, dodge the area. Do not mow over the seed. Your lawnmower is going to suck up the seed that we just put down, and it's going to really stress out the growth process. So avoid walking on this area at all costs. Make sure it has plenty of water so that it can stay moist, because what happens if the seed dries, it dies. You got it. That's it, everybody. That's it. That's all. That is how you make sure that your patchy and bare areas can really thrive this season using the Yard Dawgs Alberta Premium Mixture of Seed. If you have any questions at all during this process, if you need some clarifications on watering or mowing instructions, never hesitate to give our customer service team a call. Their full-time job is to make sure that you have all the answers you need to have the nicest lawn that you've ever had. Give us a shout if you need a hand. We're at 587-254-2337.